My name is Raz. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina. I've been there for probably about 18 years. That's my place of residence. I have a son. I'm a mom, and this is my first time being married. I did have a son, my son at the age of 17. So, life has to pause until you establish yourself. So this is very important to me because I never thought I would be here. I put him first, and having a kid at such a young age, you kind of miss out on a lot of things, and you kind of just think, hey, that's not going to be for me because I have a kid that I have to take care of. So just being engaged and being able to have this moment is super, super special to me, because I just never thought I would be able to. This is really like a dream come true for me, especially this dress. Like, it's 10 times better than what the pictures and things that I showed to Kelsey. So I'm just happy that being a mom and not thinking that I would ever be able to be here, I'm here, and it's bigger and better than ever could imagine. Well, we met fresh out of college. We were working together, and he was very quiet, and I walk in and there are other guys around and they're being all loud and just joking around, and then there's this guy on the back row. We worked in like a call center environment. I would say, fresh out of college, you gotta pretty much get whatever job you can get. So I see this quiet guy, and all of us, probably a group of 5 of us, start having conversation, and we started talking about beer. He's like, "You drink beer?" I was like, "Yeah, I drink beer." He's like, "Wow, like, do you want to have a beer sometime?" I said, "Sure." And I gave him my number. He texted me that night, and that Friday we had a beer, and we haven't separated since. And that was in December of 2011, and here we are. That's our cute love story. I would say it's not spectacular, but it was the friendship that built, to this point. And I think it's very important to actually build that friendship before, we didn't have any expectations. I didn't expect to go in and meet it. I wasn't looking for anyone, especially when I saw him. I didn't think he would even say anything to me, and I wasn't going to approach him first. So when he asked me about beer, it was kind of like, hey, this is my chance to, talk to this guy and see what he's about. Because, when you have someone that's quiet, you kind of look at them and like, hey, that person is mysterious. Let's see what he has going on. And that's how we met. We never separated since that day. In 2016, I was diagnosed with FNH, liver disease. It's not a cancerous disease. It's just benign tumors on the liver, which can be very uncomfortable. So I fought it for a couple years. I would get, getting MRIs, going back and forth to the doctor. And finally they said, "Raz, you have to have a surgery. We have to remove part of your liver." So I had that done in 2016, and the experience for me was very challenging. I'd never had surgery before. So having to be down in the bed for so long, giving myself shots in the belly, just the healing process itself. And I said, if I ever get up and I can ever move again, I will always make sure I take care of myself from head to toe. And so that's how I kind of got into training other people. They said, "Do you train?" I'm like, "No, I don't train." And after a while, I said, "Hey, let's do this." Got my certification, took that motivation, and started a business. So that's how Rise Fit was born. A couple years back, we've been working on this journey for quite some time now. I went into a store once. I couldn't fit in the sample dresses. Either they were size 2 or size 18. And, when you're gonna invest in a dress, you want it to be what you want it to be. And nothing that I put on, it was beautiful dresses, but it just did not speak to me the way that I wanted to be spoken to. Like, I wanted a wow factor. There's nothing wrong with going in the store buying a dress, but that means someone else has your dress. Somewhere, in the world, someone else has your dress. So in this case, this journey, I said, hey, this is not for me. Let's see what I can find. And I came across Kelsey in the process and loved her work. I said, this is my person. What can I do? How can I get in contact with this person? So I did, and met Kelsey. I showed her my vision, and what I showed her, this came out way better than what I could ever imagine. So that journey of knowing what I wanted, knowing how I wanted to feel, I feel very, very confident in the dress that I'm in now. It's not, oh, that's okay. This is something that I can look at later, years down the line, and say, hey, I love my dress. Kelsey went above and beyond with my dress. The biggest issue that I have is I'm very hippie. So just going in a store, picking up a dress usually doesn't work. And it's this cool little thing, I don't know what it's called. I have gathers when I sit, and my first fitting, she said, hey, I have something that I can do for that. And that was super exciting for me, because I said, hey, this is an issue that I always have. And she was able to add a little, I don't even know what to call it, whatever it may be. It's very, very unique, because I'd never seen anything like that before. So just having that was a huge plus for me, made me feel comfortable, because the smallest thing, when you're putting on a dress, it can worry you, so just having that addition just made me feel comfortable. And then Kelsey called me and said, hey, I have a couple things when you come in for your final fitting. I want to try it. I said, hey, I trust you. Let's do it. And those couple things that she showed me, I'm mind blown. Like, I love it. I think that my fiance is going to be wowed because this dress, it's sexy, it's classy, it shows just the right amount of skin. It says, hey, look at me in all the right ways. It still shows that, hey, I'm a mom, I can be sexy. I'm a wife, I can be sexy. And you don't have to show every piece of skin that you have in order to achieve that. And I feel very confident in that. I feel good in it. And I think that he's going to be able to tell that I feel good in it. And I think he's going to love it. Because I always watch his reaction when I'm going through Pinterest or Instagram. And he may say, that girl really walked down the aisle, with all that showing, so I was a bit nervous about that. And that's something that I wanted to achieve. I wanted to achieve sexy, but I didn't want to show everything, to the world. And my son, I feel that it respects him as well, because that's something that I'm very big on. He'll be 19 years old in a couple months, so he's very conscious of what I look like when I step out. And I understand, it's not like when you have your daughter, she may say, like, oh, mom, you look so cool, show a little leg. He's kind of like, mom, I don't want you to show that. And I understand, being a 19-year-old, soon to be 19-year-old man, you don't want your mom's hips all, and too much skin showing. So I think I'll get very, very good reactions out of my fiance and my son in this dress. You can be in shock and you don't know what to say or how to act, and that was my first initial reaction. I was just stuck looking at myself in the mirror, and then as far as I was so stuck I couldn't even cry. I was crying in the inside and I could feel the tears coming, and I could feel my eyes misting, but I was just in complete shock at how great I looked. I can't even, it was more than I imagined. Sean and I, my fiance, we were together for almost 13 years before we decided we're finally doing it now. This December would make 13 years. It shows that, the right timing is important. Someone says, oh, you've been together for 5 years, you should be married. You've been together for 7 years, you should be married. You've been together for 10 years, you should be married. But establishing yourself and before you make such a life-changing decision is very important to me, because you want marriage to last. You want it to be for the right reasons. You can't put a time stamp on like true love, in my opinion. We have to grow up. We were 22, 23 years old. I wasn't fit to be a wife, and he wasn't either. We barely made $10 an hour at that time. So just being able to have that growth, it shows my son that, hey, good things come to those who wait. That's something that my mom always told me, and I found it to be very true. When the timing is right, it will happen. Do not force it. When you force something, it's uncomfortable. When you force something, you think like, did I make the right decision? But when you're patient and just let it come to you, it's a better feeling. It's right. You don't have to second guess. You don't have to have sleepless nights of thinking like, hey, is this right? Is this the right thing? And don't worry about people around you. This is your life. They don't have to walk down the aisle. They don't have to wear your dress. They don't have to stand in your shoes. You do. So just be patient, and true love will come. Good wins in the end. So that's advice that I would give any bride hoping to be a bride, any bride to be, or anyone hoping to be a bride one day. Have fun. He sees Sean, my fiance, and I, we have a lot of fun, and I think that's key. We have a lot of laughter. We're always joking. You want to take life serious, but you don't want to forget to have fun. We don't take it so serious that we can't do that, and I want him to notice that, hey, they're successful, they have fun, and you don't have to say, hey, I'm so successful that I can't have fun, or I'm so serious that I don't know how to let my hair down and have a good time. Just being able to leave those small nuggets, behind, or just being able to provide him as much of a possibility to see that you can have both things. You don't have to always think, that where there's happiness, there isn't success, or where there's success, there can't be happiness. So that's something that I hope he sees and hope he takes in when it's his turn to walk down the aisle, or, whatever he may do in life. Because you think that when you're 17 years old and you have a kid that, oh, life is over. Like, I can't do anything else, so I'm not going to be successful. And then your body changes. You're a kid yourself. So when you have all those changes and you go through hormones, you have postpartum, and then you have friends that, they don't quite understand, where you're out supposed to be having fun for senior year, and they don't understand, like, hey, I have a lot of responsibility. So just being able to experience that. Just going through this process has deepened my understanding for love, commitment, and partnership, because it's a process. Like, you think that just by looking at social media, that you know how a wedding is going to go, or you know the steps that are going to happen. But when you actually get into the moment, it's way different from what you may have imagined. So I would say just going through this process has showed me, like, hey, you don't know until you wear those shoes. You don't know until you're wearing that dress. You don't know until you're trying to figure out which earrings you should wear. You don't know which friends you may or may not bring with you when you're trying on your dress. You think you have an idea of, like, hey, I'm gonna have all my friends here, but this is my moment. So I was, learning that it's okay to let it be my moment. Everyone doesn't have to be included, and it's not that I don't love those people. It's just like, hey, I only get to do this one time, and I want to look back and say, hey, I did this the way that I wanted to do it. My journey as a stepmother has influenced my relationship with my fiance, because he's a guy and I'm a girl, and my stepdaughter's a girl too, so we have that connection. And as I've been around her since she's been 12 months old, so just watching her grow and going through those growing pains of becoming a young lady. She would run in when she was 2 or 3 and asking for pancakes. Now she runs in asking for lip gloss. So just being with him, going through these processes, when he says, oh, she wants this, what is that? I'm there as a woman to say, that's what that is, and this is why she wants it. And it kind of helps him understand, because he helps me with my son as well. So just having that go-to person, which is me, for him and his daughter. And for my son and I can do the same thing. I can say, hey, ask Sean about that, or say, Sean, what do you think about this? And that just puts us in a more comfortable position. He doesn't have to do it alone, and just providing that support and him understanding that he doesn't have to do it alone, it definitely made him a lot more comfortable in this decision to propose and make me his wife. Being a mother and a stepmother is very important to me, and I balance it by understanding exactly what that means. I may not understand every step of the way, but just saying, hey, I am a stepmom, I am a mom, and this is what comes along with it. As things go on and I see them looking at everything that I do, or remembering, if I say something, or if I don't do something, or if they need help, just being that person to them, it means a lot to me to see them feel comfortable. If my stepdaughter wants to dress like me as a twin, that I was like, wow, she wants to dress like me today, and we'll dress together. And then just watching my stepdaughter and my son, their relationship, build as brother and sister, because we've been around each other for over 12 years. So it's a little family that we have, and I just love our dynamic. It works, and it's sometimes we don't know what to do, and then sometimes we do, but we make it work, and we go through those the happy times, the confused times, the times like, what is happening here, so we go through it together. And I think that's the beauty in it. My stepdaughter holds a lot of significance to me on my wedding day, because she's watched me grow as a woman, and she knows me, and I know her. And so just her seeing me being able to make that step with her dad, I'm the only girlfriend that her dad has had, so she knows me, and she looks up to me. So it's very important that she sees that. Leading back into timing is perfect. She's seen, the struggles of life, because life happens. She's seen the changes. She's moved with us. She's, done so many things with us. So for her to experience this moment with me and see me get down the aisle finally, because she was super excited when we got engaged. She's like, oh, we're going to get married. You're going to get married soon? I'm like, no, not quite. So just to be with her and, she can see this be completed, it's close to my heart. To blend families, and you have, I have my son and he has his daughter. We try to make it where they can see that it's okay to be blended. You know what I mean? Just because you don't share my same exact bloodline by nature doesn't mean that we're not family. We make it a point to show both of them that, hey, we're here for you regardless if you're not, my child biologically, and just watching them have the relationship as brother and sister. As you can hear, I'm not saying step brother and step sister, because their relationship is very, very, they're very close. They pick at each other. They don't talk to each other every day. It happens. And then, just having my son treat her like the little sister, you know, protecting her, making sure she's good, you know, asking her questions about her well-being on, you know, when they're around each other, it's a beautiful thing. And I think that shows, you know, it's a reflection of her dad and myself. They're showing, you know, the characteristics of, you know, how a blended family can smoothly run together. To anyone that's looking for their dress and they don't know what the experience of looking for a dress is like, find what you like and stick with it. Don't let anyone change your mind, because people love to give opinions in situations like this. And this, like I said, you cannot get this moment back. So live in your truth, you know, and if you're looking for someone to make your dress, Kelsey is the person to make your dress. But just honestly, just live in your truth and don't go against, you know, what you really want. Don't be a people pleaser. That's the only way I can put that. Please yourself, not people. Because at the end of the day, if you please people, you won't feel good about yourself at the end of the day. I've lived and learned to know that. So in this process, just stay true to yourself. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina, and I was a bit nervous about it, but I love Kelsey's work. So I said, hey, she's a professional. She knows what she's doing. So the process is not as strenuous as I thought it would be. I was able to, you know, have virtual appointments. She communicated with me. If you're afraid your dress designer be away, don't be afraid of that. That's what they do. So the process was easy. Didn't stress me out at all. So that's a plus. This dress captures my personality because it's a wow factor. I think that I'm a wower. I mean, my name is Raz, so I think that says enough for itself. And this dress is like razzle dazzle. That's what I thought when I looked at it. I'm like, hey, this dress it screams me. It looks like me. It looks like something I would wear, and I think it fits me to the T. So I was super excited to see something that actually looked like me in this way. Not streetwear, not, you know, casual wear, but this wedding dress screamed me. So yes. Well, I think that when he sees me, he's gonna be wowed. You know, I was wowed. I was in shock, and I feel that he's gonna feel the exact same way. And